Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to our Shabbat evening service. If you were expecting Cantor Sax this evening, surprise! Unfortunately, she's a little under the weather this evening, so I'm happy to fill in. I'm Steve Brodsky. I'm Cantorial Soloist and Music Director at Temple Emmanuel. It's lovely to see all of you joining us this evening. This is a special Shabbat. We're going to sing with great joy these words, Hine ma tov u'manaim, shevet achim gam yachad, how good it is for all of us to be together. Here we go. Hine ma tov u'manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Let's do u'manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine ma tov u'manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Hine ma tov u'manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are so happy to be here. Like Steve said, it's always a nice surprise when you expect one person and you get the other, and it doesn't really matter. So we are excited to pray with you this evening. I am Rabbi Emily Hyatt, for those of you that haven't joined us before. And this is, like Steve said, this is a special Shabbat. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a few minutes. But this is a Shabbat called Shabbat Nachamu. And it comes after the holiday, which we had yesterday, of Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av. And again, we'll talk more about this, but Nachamu means comfort. This is a Shabbat of comfort. And so as we begin our service, you know, I've gotten in the habit of asking and thinking, what is making this space holy? What makes this different than the chair I've been sitting in for the 10 hours before this service, or for the rest of the week, or something that makes this feel different than it does all the rest of the time, because this is now holy space. And on Shabbat Nachamu, I'll ask you not only what's making your space different, what's making it a little bit holy, but I ask you what's making it a place of comfort, a place of safety, and of positivity for you, because that's the theme of this week's Shabbat, is a Shabbat of comfort. And so we begin something that always makes me feel comforted, by bringing light in, and by lighting our Shabbat candles together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat sings to us as she approaches, an ancient song of joy and desire, a quiet song of hope and anticipation. Yes, Shabbat sings as she arrives, her scarves dancing around her in the gentle breeze. Read with me. Shabbat sings to us when she arrives, a sweet song of love and reunion, a simple song of laughter and surrender. Yes, Shabbat sings with us, joyful, exuberant, as we dance together in the glow of sunset. It is good to give thanks to God.
We welcome Shabbat with the words, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, let us sing a new song to God. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing a new song unto God. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. I will sing a new song unto God.
And as we prepare for Lecha Dodi, for that moment where we welcome Shabbat into our midst, this is one of those times where our choreography, I think we've talked about this before, our choreography during the service is so intentional. We do really important things with our bodies, and they help us to understand in our minds what's happening. And so here, as we enter into Lecha Dodi, when we're in the sanctuary together, we turn. We welcome Shabbat into our space. We physically look for Shabbat. We turn towards those doors. And so think, where in your home might Shabbat enter? Shabbat going to enter through the garage. Maybe Shabbat enters through the front door or the windows or, I don't know, the air vents, right? Like, where do you find that comfort, that holiness that comes in? And face that space. Look at that space. Wait for Shabbat to take up residence in your home, changing the next day for you as we sing together the words of Lecha Dodi.
lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad ishmianu el hamiyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'litila lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki hi mekor habracha verosh mikadem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela hitoreri ki ba'orech kumi ori uri shir daveri k'vod Adonai alayich nigla lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. And now we rise and welcome Shabbat into our own homes. Glory v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha uv'tzola toch emunei am segula boi chala lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. And now that we've welcomed Shabbat, we're ready to move into the main part of our worship service. I invite you to rise as you are able, either physically or spiritually, and join in our call to worship, the Baruch Hu. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la. Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach
Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love.
Love beyond all space and time, your love enfolds your people, Yisrael. We receive it in your teaching, your gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law. Read together with me. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and rise up and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. They are the very essence of life, ours to ponder and study all our days. May we never lose or be unworthy of your love, for you are blessed. The one who loves your people, Yisrael, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one, and we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Shema me join together in chanting the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha vidibarta bam beshivtecha bevetecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot beineinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kidoshim lelohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. Emet.
Who is like you, God of mystery and majesty, distant and present, thundering and quiet, the beginning and the end, the atom and the cosmos, the darkness and the light? Read with me. The one and the all, pillar and foundation, artist of sea and sky, author of the miraculous and the mundane, source of life, blessing and sustaining creation. Who is like you, glorious in holiness, to whom we praise, to whom we give thanks? The God who redeemed us from Egypt, the God who parted the sea, the God to whom Miriam and Moses led us in song.
Adonai mi kamocha nedar bakodesh norat tehilot osef elen norat tehilot osef elen malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam ze'eli anu ve'ameru Adonai imloch leolam va'ed mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar bakodesh Torah tehilot osef elen Torah tehilot osef elen yalai lai 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 yalai lai 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 lai
Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and love. Watch over us as we go forth, prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom Hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Let's sing that one more time. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom Hamidenu Shomreinu Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom Hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom Hamidenu Shomreinu
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields or mend a broken bridge nor rebuild a ruined city, but prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will.
Yai lai 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 Adonai Sifatai tiftach Ufi agid Tehilatecha Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevii Geula Livnei V'Nehem, L'Ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav lehoshia, Morid hatal. Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishene afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umidom melach, Melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelu chasela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We take a moment now for silent prayer, the prayers that are in our hearts and minds and not in the words that we read, and we come back together shortly for a prayer for peace.
Ose shalom bimromav, Ose shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh, Hu ya'aseh, Hu ya'aseh shalom, Hu ya'aseh, Hu ya'aseh, Hu ya'aseh shalom, Hu ya'aseh, Hu ya'aseh, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Ose shalom bimromav, Ose shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh, Hu ya'aseh, Hu ya'aseh shalom, Hu ya'aseh, Hu ya'aseh, Hu ya'aseh shalom, Hu ya'aseh, Hu ya'aseh, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom Bimromav Oseh Shalom
So, I told you we were going to talk a little bit more about this Shabbat, about it being Shabbat Nachamu, the Shabbat of comfort, and what that really means. And here's what I've got to tell you. This last few days is a wild emotional roller coaster. Tisha B'Av is not a holiday that we always talk about in the Reform movement, and I'll tell you why. Tisha B'Av, which translates to the 9th of Av, marks the day when we mark, as the Jewish people, the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem 2,000 years ago. And that marking is a really important piece of the way that we contextualize Jewish history. But a little bit ago, the Reform rabbis and clergy and thinkers decided that perhaps living in this history of 2,000 years and waiting for the temple to be rebuilt is not in line with our theology and ideology. Now, that's a class for another time. So let's not think about why we don't think about Tisha B'Av so much and why perhaps this is the first that you're hearing about it, but let me tell you about it. It's a day of mourning. It's a day of fasting. It's a day of sitting literally on the floor to acknowledge how low we are, the lowness of our souls and emotions and grief as we lament the destruction of what it felt like for all of the Jewish people to be together in one place. It's like Yom Kippur, but sad. It's not just that it's intense, it is deeply, deeply sad. And so last week, we had Shabbat Chazon, which was taking us into Tisha B'Av. It's the Shabbat of Vision. And it's named after a piece of text from the Haftorah that we read traditionally on Saturday morning. The Shabbat of Vision reminds us as we go into Tisha B'Av that after this sad moment, there might be a chance for salvation. And Shabbat Nachamu, this Shabbat of comfort, is designed to remind us as we emerge from this very sad day of mourning that there's still what to be happy about, that redemption will come. And like I said, Nachamu comes from the passage in Isaiah, which we will read from for the Haftorah tomorrow, that says, Nachamu, Nachamu Ami. That it's like an imploring that we should comfort our people, or that God should comfort our people, or that we should comfort God's people. And it's the first of 7 weeks of consolation that come after this holiday of Tisha B'Av. But here's what's weird about it. When I think of a Shabbat of comfort, or when I think about comfort in general, what I want to do is put on really cozy socks and sweatpants and sit on my couch with a really, really soft blanket and do things that make me feel comforted, like watch bad romantic comedies and eat macaroni and cheese. And those are things that comfort me. Now you know. But that's not actually what Shabbat Nachamu is about. Shabbat Nachamu is not that kind of comfort. Shabbat Nachamu is a freaking party. We are supposed to sing and dance and be joyful and eat festive foods and stay up all night and get like a little bit crazy, which to me, I don't know that I would have used the word nachamu, comfort, to describe like being in the club. You're supposed to get really, really, really happy, ecstatic with joy on Shabbat Nachamu. Fascinating. It's kind of an abrupt transition if you think about it. I'm still a little funky from fasting, right? It takes me a couple days to recover from that. And now I'm supposed to be preparing for what feels like a party. 24 hours after we're literally on the floor mourning, we get up and we get so physically joyful. We go from the depths of that sadness to full body celebration. Want an example? Today, as I was reading the news, I saw an article in the Forward, a Jewish newspaper, that had a Shabbat Nachamu recipe for sprinkle-tastic strawberry ice cream cake. Sprinkle-tastic strawberry ice cream cake. That's what Shabbat Nachamu is about. Sprinkle-tastic. It's not comfort. It's a 6-year-old birthday party. So it feels weird to me. Nothing has actually changed since Tisha B'Av ended and we entered into Shabbat. We haven't been redeemed. The temple is still destroyed, if that's what we're feeling the grief from. We have not been gathered back to Jerusalem. Nothing has changed between Tisha B'Av and now. The world and our world in 2020 still feels in ruins. So perhaps this isn't quite about the depths or the reasons behind the mourning, and it's not even about the heights of the celebration. It's about the process of getting up, of raising ourselves from those depths and finding the heights. On Tisha B'Av, we start on the floor. We are low in our despair, physically, spiritually, emotionally. But we don't wait for the end of the day to rise. We begin in the darkness on Erev Tisha B'Av the night before, and we continue also the next morning. When we grieve, when we're in a house of mourning, we sit low on the ground, not in chairs. But come afternoon, not evening, not the end of Tisha B'Av, but afternoon, we begin to rise. We still fast, we still mourn, we still sing sad songs, but we return to our chairs. We sit a little higher. We get up a little bit. And the tone changes. Because part of the point, I think, of Tisha B'Av is learning how to rise. It's a reminder. No matter how sad we are, and no matter how legitimate and appropriate that sadness is, we always, even from our deepest, darkest grief, we always get up. The author of the sprinkle-tastic strawberry ice cream cake recipe says that on Shabbat Nachamu, she insists on joy. She demands it. So I want to tell you a story. Many years ago, when I was first working for BBYO, I was teaching at one of the camps that I was at a choreography of leadership class. And it's one of those ideas that it's not so much about what you say, it's about what you do with your body that impacts your leadership style. And so I was teaching them power poses, right? When you feel so nervous and you can't breathe and you feel like you're going to throw up and pass out because you're going to public speak or whatever it may be, do a power pose. If you stand up straight and you make yourself look like Superwoman, it in fact affects and impacts your body. Your endorphins change, your confidence rises, and it really does have an impact on how you feel. If you're sitting like this and you're super nervous and you're hunched over and you're terrified, your body feels that. But when you get up and you look like you know what you're doing, even if you have no idea what you're doing, your body feels you. Make that change. And I said to these kids, fake it till you make it. I didn't mean fake the leadership. I meant fake the power pose. Even if you don't feel confident, act confident, look confident. And in fact, it will help you to feel confident. Now, it just so happens that a great friend of mine who I was just meeting at that time, who was interviewing to come and work for me, heard me say that and was like horrified by the idea that I had just told a group of teenagers to fake it till they make it. And it wasn't until like 3 years later that he told me that he had really not been convinced by my wisdom in that moment until I explained to him what I was actually teaching. Because it's a hard lesson to think about. Fake it till you make it. But that's this Shabbat. It's this moment. This is not a moment of joy. 2020 is not a year of joy. This is a year of deep grief and struggle. So what does it mean if we insist on joy? Even if we're struggling, even if our anxiety is overwhelming and the news is demoralizing and the future seems impossible and our voices crack every time we speak about the future, What if we insist on joy? We demand it. We act it, live it, dance it, sing it, eat it. We remind our bodies that joy exists. It is out there. That's the reason that Tisha B'Av isn't irrelevant anymore, even to Reformed Jews, because it's not about what we mourn for, it's about how we get up. And so this Shabbat, I invite you to join me for sprinkle-tastic strawberry ice cream cake, which, by the way, sounds disgusting, or for something else that brings you unbridled joy. Whatever it is, today's the day for it. Find it and do it. Start with your body, even if your mind isn't there yet. You have a right to joy, even in anxiety. You have a right to happiness, even in struggle. We have a right to find a little bit of comfort, even in this year that is so deeply hard. Let's remind ourselves that's what this is about. That's what Tisha B'Av is about. That's what Shabbat Nachamu, this comfort, is about. Let's remind ourselves that joy exists and that we are entitled to it. In fact, we insist on it. Shabbat Shalom. It is my pleasure for the Torah reading to call a number of people to help us. We are in Parashat Ve'et. We're in the book of Deuteronomy, and we have, for our Torah blessing today, Maya, Kathy, and Peter Horwich, who are with us for this blessing today because today was supposed to be Maya's bat mitzvah date. This weekend was supposed to be Maya's bat mitzvah date. And so we're honoring her in this moment, even though we are going to, as we have with so many, push her bat mitzvah to another day and another time. So we are so lucky and proud to have her and her parents here with us. And then we have the magnificent Torah reader, Leslie Schaefer, who is going to read for us not just any piece of Torah, but in fact the 10 Commandments, which are repeated in this Torah portion, and our wonderful and esteemed board member, Board of Trustees member, and one of our great volunteers with Family Promise and all the work that we've been able to do with that amazing organization. Lori Kalata is here to do our Torah translation for us. And so with that, I turn it over to the Horwich family for the blessings before the Torah reading.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Anochi Adonai Elohecha Asher Hotzeiticha me'eretz Mitzrayim mibeid avadim Lo yehi lecha Elohim acherim al panai Lo taseh lecha vesel chol tumona Asher bashamayim mimal vasher ba'aretz mitachat vasher b'mayim mitachat la'aretz lo tishachaveh lahem velo tovdehem ki anochi Adonai Elohecha Elkanah Poked Avon Avod Al Banim Ve'al Shileshim Ve'al Ribeim Lesonai Ve'oseh Chesed La'alafim Le'ohavai Ul Shomrei Mitzvotai Lo Tisa Et Shem Adonai Elohecha Lashav Ki Lo Yenakeh Adonai Oed Asher Yisa Et Shemo Lashav Shamor Et et Yom HaShabbat lekadsho kasher svicha Adonai Elohecha Sheshet Yamim Tavod Ve'asita chol melachechta Ve'yom HaShavi Shabbat L'Adonai Elohecha Lo Ta'aseh chol melacha Ata uvincha uvitecha Ve'avdecha ve'amatecha Ve'zurecha ve'chamorecha Ve'chol behemtecha Ve'gercha asher bisharecha Leman yanuach Avdaka v'amatach kamocha Ve'zacharta ki eved hayita be'eretz Mitzrayim Vayotziacha Adonai Elohecha misham be'ad hazaka uvizroa netuya al kein tzvicha Adonai Elohecha la'asod et Yom HaShabbat. Kabed et avicha ve'et imecha kasher svicha Adonai Elohecha leman yarichuen yamecha uman yitav lach al ha'adama asher Adonai Elohecha noten lach lo tirtzach velo tinahaf velo tignov velo tanev eid shav velo tachmod eshet reecha velo titaveh beit reecha sadehu ve'abdo ba'amoto shoro v'chamoro v'chol asher l'reecha.
I, the Eternal, am your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods beside me. You shall not make for yourself a sculptured image, any likeness of what is in the heavens above, or the earth below, or in the waters below the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them. For I, the Eternal, am an impassioned God, visiting the guilt of the parents upon the children, upon the third and upon the fourth generations of those who reject me, but showing kindness to the 1,000th generation of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not swear falsely by the name of the Eternal your God, for the Eternal will not clear one who swears falsely by God's name. Observe the Sabbath day and keep it holy, as the Eternal your God has commanded you. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the 7th day is a Sabbath of the Eternal your God. You shall not do any work. You, your son or daughter, your male or female slave, your ox or your ass, or any of your cattle, or the stranger in your settlements, so that the male and female slave may rest as you do. Remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and the Eternal your God freed you from there with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm. Therefore the Eternal your God has commanded you to observe the Sabbath day. Honor your father and your mother, as the Eternal your God has commanded you, that you may long endure, and that you may fare well in the land that the Eternal your God is assigning to you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You men shall not covet your neighbor's wife.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Thank you so much to all of you who helped us to make this Torah reading so beautiful. Leslie, that was an amazing reading of the Ten Commandments. Lori, thank you for your translation. And to the Horwich family, Mazel Tov on the original date of Maya's bat mitzvah. And we look forward to actually celebrating with you when we have a chance. We turn now with all of this holiness that we have, all of the beauty of and spirituality of this moment, and we use it to pray for the health and healing of all those that we love that might be in need today. And as usual, just a few reminders. If somebody should be on the Misha Beirach list and isn't, please let us know. You can send us an email at care, C-A-R-E, at emmanueldenver.org so that we can make sure not only that people are on the list, but that we reach out to them and we can care for them also. If somebody can come off the list, that is my favorite kind of email to receive. So please let us know if someone is feeling better and is ready to come off the list. And just so you know, there is no difference whether I say a name, whether you write a name, whether you say it out loud, whether you type it. It all goes to the same place. The point is that we're putting those names out into the world so that we can make sure that we pray for those who are in need. And so we begin with the words of the Misha Beirach. We'll break in the middle to read our list, and then we'll continue.
Mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And let us say, Amen.
Today we are praying for Zachary Hoffman, David Karner, David Lustig, Marcia Richter, Paul Kamensky, Dr. Catherine Carey McCallie, Natalie Mosier, Corey Franklin, Margaret Glubach, Dr. Howard Miller, Bob Connolly, Lori Markman, Jennifer Butler Poole, David Goldenberg, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Shanti Hazan, Robert Tucker, Jennifer Brynan, Lynn Pollitt, Sarah Lynn McIntyre, Jeff Cohn, David Bershoff, Lynn McLaughlin Cromar, Cynthia Friedland, Dana Huss, Harold Gluscoder, Cyril Beinhorn, and Betsy Appel. If there are others for whom you would like to send prayers their way, please type those into the comments box. Say them out loud in your homes as we pray together for them. Baruch atah Adonai Makor HaRefuah. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of all healing.
Misha Beirach imotenu Mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, And now we begin to conclude our service. I invite you to rise as you are able, either physically or spiritually, for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'teit gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyeh haratzot, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Our thoughts now turn to those that we are missing this Shabbat, those whose memories are present with us, though their physical selves are not anymore. And, it's interesting to go from joy to mourning to joy to mourning to joy. And so it's a reminder to us on this Shabbat of comfort and joy that there is joy in memory also, and that sometimes we sit in sadness and in grief and we are low, and sometimes we sit with memories that bring us up. So perhaps this Shabbat can be a Shabbat of memories that raise us instead of hold us down. We are thinking today of those who we have lost in the last 7 days: Albert Cordova, Sally Gass, and Alan Levin. Those who we have lost in the last 30 days: Dr. Richard Baum, Erwin Chaim, Marcia Heller, Ruth Kolker, Leona Rabson, and Claire Sissenwine. And those for whom today marks a yortzeit, or an anniversary of their passing at this season in years past: Milton J. Beinhorn, Bernard S. Bernstein, Simon Bitterman, Dr. Isidore David Bronfin, Louis Cohn, Charlotte Graber-Dubin, Ida Lena Eber, Elizabeth Echt, Matthew Fox, Sidney Goodman, Anna J. Greenbaum, Paul Wolfgang Gross, Luis Hanchett, Bernice E. Hayton, Evelyn Paper Himmelgren Rodman, Belle V. Hurst, Albert Kahn, Marcia Missy Kelney, Samuel Klingstein, Philip J. Lasky, Douglas E. Link, Morton Launder, Hyman Meadow, Adolph D. Milstein, Henry Newman, Arthur Pillersdorf, Seraphine Pisco, Anna Shore Pomerantz, Esther G. Quiet, Helen S. Robinson, Max S. Shire, Viola Silverberg, Chester Sobel, Howard J. Sobel, Sarah Sis Sobel, Annie Feinsilver Spire, Gary Evans Steller, Dr. Harold S. Tuff, Dr. Rolf Wagshall, Barbara Walensky, Sam Winkler, and Max A. Sellinger. And we add to those names 10 of the names of the citizens of the city of Kolín in Czechoslovakia, for whom our Kolín chapel is dedicated: Milan Kornfeld, Milos Kornfeld, Kamila Kornfeldova, Renata Kornfeldova, Ludwig Koser, Indrek Kraus, Yuri Kraus, Robert Kraus, Berta Krausova, and Marta Krausova. I invite you as well to type in or say out loud any of the names of those who you are missing. Again, it matters not at all whether you say them or I say them. And so with that, I invite you to rise in your space, spiritually, physically, whatever feels appropriate to you, if you are in a place of mourning or if it is your custom, as we join together in the ancient words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgarash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ule'omei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim alinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen.
Oseh shalom, shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
A few announcements about the rest of Shabbat before we conclude our service. First of all, Shabbat continues tomorrow, as always, 9 a.m. Join Neil and I for Young Family Shabbat. It's sure to be chaos and delight. He's unpredictable and funny at best. So it should be very fun. We are happy to have you. We will be opening and concluding Shabbat, Neil and I, tomorrow. So we are doing Young Family Shabbat at 9. At 10 a.m., we are going to have Torah study with Cantor Sachs. She will be with you at 10 a.m. I think she'll be feeling better. She feels good about it. At 11 o'clock in the morning, a community service that will be led by Rabbi Black and I think Cantor Sachs. Is that right? Great. And then tomorrow evening at 7, Havdalah, and I believe that we are going to have some Shweder Havdalah to wrap up yet another session of virtual Shweder camp. And Neil and I will be there, obviously, to make it even more exciting. So that is Shabbat. Otherwise, check your Facebook, check your e-notes for more information. We are going to continue to put these announcements out there, but we're changing a little bit about the way that we are doing pastoral care, meaning if you have something wrong and you need to talk to one of the clergy, there has not in previous times been a super easy way to get a hold of us if email is not quick enough. And so for now, I want to let you know that we have a new email address. It's care, C-A-R-E, at emmanueldenver.org. We'll type that into the comments box as well. And you can email there if you have something that you need. And there is also going to be a new emergency phone number if you need to get a hold of the clergy. So check your e-notes next week, and there will be a new page on the website for that so that you can find us when you need us, because we're here for you. So with that, let's say Kiddush.
Let's say Kiddush. If you have a beverage, a grape-based beverage, please join me as we sanctify the holiness of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodesho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim. And you got a visit from the Challah fairy, didn't you?
Yes, the Challah fairy left 2 challahs under my pillow today. Fresh and hot out of the oven. Oh, what beautiful challahs.
So beautiful.
So join with me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Can't wait to eat those a little bit later. We will conclude by singing the words Adon Olam, and this beautiful melody that comes from the Portuguese Jewish community of Amsterdam. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra leid nasa b'chevtzo kol azai melech shemo nikra me'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora vehu haya vehu hoveh vehu yiyeh betifara vehu echad ve'ein sheni lehamshilo lehachbira beli reshit beli tachlit velo haoz vehamisra vehu eli vechai goali v'tzur chavli b'tzara vehu nisi umanos li menat kosi v'yom ekra ve'yado afkid ruchi ve'et yishan ve'ayira ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li ve'lo ira ve'lo ira.
And we conclude with a moment of prayer. Yehi ratzon milfanecha, may it be your will, God, that we have a reminder from our own selves, that we remind ourselves, or perhaps also from the world around us, that we're entitled to joy, even in sadness, that we have access to joy, even in grief, and that even when things get hard, we have some control over those moments of hardness. And so I invite all of you to join me in finding some joy. Perhaps it's in sprinkles and sprinkle-tastic strawberry ice cream cake. Mine will not be in that. But I invite you to find joy in whatever you can this Shabbat Nachamu, the Shabbat of our comfort. Let's remind ourselves that we can help ourselves find joy, even in a crazy world like we have. And we wish you all a whole lot of peace in that quest. Tatzilenu l'shalom v'tadrichenu l'shalom. Let our steps on the paths that we take all be in peace. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.